Hello, friends. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to another Tuesday night live Stamp With Me Tuesday. Tonight, we are going to make some super quick and easy handmade cards using a card sketch. And I, of course, am making a card for spring because I am ready for spring to be here. If you are here and join me live, leave me a comment. Let me know whether or not you are making a card along with me this evening. And give me a thumbs up on to make sure that my sound sounds correct, because last time we had some problems at the beginning. So hopefully that is all taken care of this evening. Whew. All right. If you are watching the replay, special welcome to you as well. I'd love to know that you all come and hang out and watch the replay later. So if that is you, make sure you leave me a comment as well and let me know if you are stamping along with the replay or if you are going to stamp later as well. All right, Carol, you're just watching tonight. Sound is good. Good. All right, sounds good. Hello, Jill and Carol. So glad y'all are here. Let me see. If this is your first time here, welcome. I am Heidi with Onigo Stamping. I'm going to help you reconnect with your inner artist by using stamps, ink, and paper to make beautiful handmade cards and gifts just like this, quickly and easily too. So I'm going to make my workspace look just a little bit bigger so we can get started. There we go. All right, this is the sketch that I'm going to be using tonight, and we will get to that in just a minute. But I'm going to show you the supplies I'm going to use to make my card using this sketch. So I am using the Pretty Florals and Sweet Blooms stamp sets. These are part of one big giant mega suite in the catalog, and I love them. They're so pretty. Along with these is the coordinating pattern paper, which is also gorgeous. And I've used so much of it already that some pieces, I only have little pieces, but it has these beautiful florals on one side. And then of course you flip it over and you get some fabulous designs. This pack does feature a lot of the 2025-2027 in colors, which are, actually, you know what? Let me show you the in colors again. Well, I don't have the cloud cover. So there's cloud cover, which is basically this color. Secret Sea, Timid Tiger, Darling Duckling, and Strawberry Slush. And I love these colors. They have quickly turned into some real favorites of mine. I've been using them all the time. Now, this suite that I'm using tonight, you're going to find it in the new catalog, and I can now show you the catalog. I'm going to put this down just a little bit. I feel like my head's not showing. All right. Yeah, Kristen, isn't that paper beautiful? I can now show you the inside of the catalog. Since the catalog is now live, you can order all of these things starting today. So if you look, and of course the whole page is not fitting very well in the frame here, but if you look on page 40 and 41, there is a full layout of just ideas for you. Check that out. Look at all those fun card ideas. And then they show you the stamp sets. They show you everything in the suite, and you turn the page. In page 44 and 45, there are more card ideas for you. And there's different suggestions of how you can do things, how you can use the dies to cut some of the pattern paper, or you can fussy cut it, just some different ideas. And you turn the page 46 and 47, there's more ideas. So yeah, isn't that so pretty? Gorgeous. And look at this. Oh my goodness. That is so, so pretty, that frame. So lots and lots of ideas using this suite. And if you want even more ideas and you just want to have a fun time, we're going to be using it for the Summer Creative Escape. That is a virtual online retreat coming in June 14th, but registration ends Friday. So if you aren't registered yet, you might want to pop over and get registered for that, because I've teamed up with my friend Melissa Faust, who you may know, and we're going to bring you 10 different projects. It's going to be all kind of packed into one day of lots and lots of fun. So if you haven't already, hop over to my website, get registered for that. Let me tell you the supplies that I'm using for this card tonight. I have a piece of cardstock. I chose Strawberry Slush. This is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Then I have a piece of that gorgeous pattern paper. This is 5 1/4 inches by 4 inches. I have another piece of Strawberry Slush. This is 4 3/8 by 3 1/8 inches. And I have a piece of white that is 4 1/4 by 3 inches. Then I have additional piece of white that I'm going to do a little bit of stamping on. So I'm going to start by pulling this out. We're going to do the stamping first. And I'm going to start by stamping the sentiment on here. This is what I'm using. So in this 2-set suite, one set kind of has lots of the words, although there are flowers in here, and you could definitely do things with just the stamp set. But then there are these flowers that kind of add on to the whole thing. So I'm going to use the sentiment from that, and I'm going to start by stamping Lovely, which is this giant Lovely. I'm going to stamp it in Strawberry Slush. And what's really cool is there is a die that will cut this out as well, or there is a die, there's like 2 dies. You can stack it and just cut it out of cardstock. Oops, got ink on me. Or you can cut out the stamped Lovely. Like there's so much you can do with it. All right, I'm going to put this at an angle, just like that. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. And then I'm going to stamp in some Timid Tiger, which is this beautiful orange color. All of the ink colors for this year are kind of, they're kind of dusty. They're kind of like a heathery color. So I'm going to stamp the Have A at the top. Try to get this straight. Sometimes it's hard to stamp straight when you've stamped on a curve before that. So Have A, and then I'm going to stamp Day down here. So have a lovely day. Isn't that sweet? All right, so this is going to be my sentiment. I'm just going to set that aside. Now, what you will need, if we look at this right here, so for this card sketch, you have this big area where you can stamp your sentiment. So it's really good for some big sentiments, or you can change the size of your elements. I'm going to use kind of small elements on this one, and that's what I'm going to do right here. So I want 3 different flowers for this to fill in these 3 spots. And that is going to stamp all in one stamp for this one. So I'm going to ink up the inside with some Timid Tiger. I'm going to put my Timid Tiger away, and I'm going to stamp with some Darling Duckling, which is this yellowy color. And this is going to stamp the insides. Now, I have lots of samples using this sketch for you tonight. So now I'm just going to line this up. I'm trying to line up the lines with the dents. Let's see how we do. Not too shabby. So there we have 3 flowers. Now, if you wanted to, this does have the stem. You could put those 3 flowers on the stem. For my card tonight, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to use them as kind of individual flowers. Of course, each of these stamp sets has dies. So I'm going to pull out the pretty florals dies that matches this set. And there's, look at all these dies. Oh my goodness. All right. So I'm going to pull out this one right here. And we're going to die cut this. We're going to pull in my mini machine this evening. So there's my mini machine. And to die cut it, I'm going to start by putting down my number 1 plate. Then I will add my cutting plate, my number 2 plate. And I'll put my cardstock on there. And I'll put my die on there. And when I am die cutting a stamped image, I like to hold it down. And I just use sticky notes. You can use Post-it note tape. You can use washi tape. You can use sticky notes. You can use any of it and all of it. So I'm going to stick that down and run this through my mini machine. Now, with the mini machine, I have this stacked. You can see the one in the center is lower, and that's just going to help my machine get started a little bit easier. So just put that in there and roll it through. Super quick and easy. This is going to give us 3 little flowers. There we go. So cute. So cute. Itty bitty flowers. All right, let's put our card together. This is such an easy card to make, and I love it. I love it, love it, love it. That's why I have so many samples. Plus, now I have another card sketch to share with you tonight, because every month when you place at least a $50 order through me, you can get a free sketch and tutorial bundle. It has 3 sketches in it and 6 full card tutorials using those sketches. This month's uses the new Cheers and Sips set, I think is what it's called. All right, so I'm just going to adhere my pattern paper right on there. That's so pretty. I love this pattern. All right, and I'm going to adhere my sentiment to my cardstock. And that will fit just right on there. Nice and easy. And then this just goes on the card front. This is such an easy card. All right. So there we go. That's just going to go right on there. And then we're going to add our three little flowers. Now you could do all sorts of different shapes. And I'm going to show you some different shapes and things that I have tonight. And I did a couple of these where I kind of stepped things up a little bit, made it a little bit fancier. So variations on the theme, on the sketch, as we will. I'm just going to put some Stampin' Dimensionals on my flowers. And I'm going to adhere these to the front, just in this little corner down here. And we're just going to make kind of a visual triangle. So our eyes like it when things are in triangles. So I'm going to put 2 down there and then 1 up here, just like the card sketch. All right, so you can see it's the same. It's the same. Let's add some bling to it. Now, the bling that comes with this suite, I'll show you, is the new in color gems. All right, so these flat pearls come with a suite, but I'm going to grab the strawberry slush and pretty and pink gems. And we're going to add some strawberry slush gems to the front of this because I like them because they sparkle. So, and I've used a ton of these already too. I've kind of been putting them on lots and lots of stuff. All right. So I'm just going to slide a big one in here. We'll add a little one. And these have like a gold fleck in the center of them. It's really pretty. And then we'll just add this up here. And there we go. There is my card. Isn't that sweet? So easy. So simple. Let me show you my other cards. All right. So here's another one using the same thing. This is using the new Gallery Blooms pattern paper and the Gallery Blooms stamp set and the Beautiful Blooms paper. I don't know. You know what I mean. It's a full suite too. Isn't that pretty? I love this paper. It's so gorgeous. And I just stamped those. I actually stamped them in early espresso and I colored them with Stampin' Blends. I wanted the white flowers to kind of pop. So I went around the outside of the flowers with my light crumb cake and went over it with the color lifter just to kind of give it a little bit of a shadow. And that kind of makes those white flowers pop out a little bit more. So there's that one. And then I wanted to step it up just a little bit. So I made a Father's Day card using the Trusty Tools stamp set. Isn't that fun? So it's the same layout, right? We have the same basic layout. Here's our sketch, right? But this time, instead of having a piece of white in the center here, I took a piece of basic beige and I cut it with the dies so it looks like pegboard. And then I actually just stamped the sentiment and cut it out and adhered it to the front and then added the tools. So just kind of stepped it up just a little bit like that. And then I have this one too. And this is using the new Impressions of Bloom stamp set. And for this one, I actually used the big oval, this kind of modern oval shaped die. Actually 2 dies that are in the die set that match this. And I use that for that rectangle. So instead of a rectangle, I have an oval in there, but then I added 3 flowers. And you can see with a smaller sentiment here, again, I attached this to the front. I cut it out, fussy cut that, but I used some bigger flowers. So it kind of like all balances, but isn't that fun? You can use whatever size for those 3 elements. It's just something about having 3 of them. So there we go. Those are those cards, but let me show you my other sketch. And the other sketch will be included in the, in that Creativity Made Simple card sketch. Okay. So the card sketch bundle with the cards and everything that you get free with a $50 order, and it will have all of the dimensions and everything in there. So here's the basic sketch. Super easy. And then we use the Cheers and Sips stamp set to make the cards. So there we go. Isn't that fun? And again, see, you can just swap out the elements for different sizes. So cute. And I use the embossing folder back there. And then I have this one, and I actually took it and I turned it. So I took my card sketch and I turned it this way. Same sketch, it's just turned on end. So there we go. And again, I added this little drink over here and the sentiment and all that kind of good stuff. Isn't that fun? So this complete tutorial and the card sketch is in the Creativity Made Simple card sketch and tutorial bundle that you can get free, or it will be available on my website if you want to get it that way. But why not just get it free? All right, friends. That's it for tonight. This was a quick and easy card, right? Quick and easy, simple card. I can't wait to see what you make with this card sketch. I am going to go and I'm going to post a photo of it, a photo of some of my samples over on my Facebook page. And I hope that you will pop over there. And when you make a card using the sketch, that you will post a picture of your card in the comments so we can all see it, because I love to see how these sketches work with all different papers and stamps and all of the fun things you come up with, and if you step it up and do all that kind of stuff too. So thank you all for joining me tonight. Next week, Tuesday, I am going out of town. Some of you guys know I am headed to Disney next week with Stampin' Up. So excited. But I will have a video for you. We're going to be doing a fun fold, and it's going to be quick and easy too. It's going to be awesome. You're going to love it. So make sure that you join me next Tuesday night, 8 p.m. I'll be almost live. Have a great week.